Welcome back. Thanks very much for staying with us. You're watching WION World is One with me, Laisha Sehgal. And this is Speed News. We're getting the latest from all across the globe. I'm also being joined by interpreter Ms. Rajni. Let's get you started. Producers of the Israeli music festival that was targeted by the Hamas militants on October 7th recreated the venue in Tel Aviv in memory of the hundreds killed that day. The Nova Festival producer who was injured in the attack said that the exhibition was designed for the whole world to see what happened at the festival. 364 people were shot at the all-night festival held about 5 kilometers from the Gaza Strip. The exhibition includes tents, toilets and sound equipment recovered from the scene of the attack. Hundreds of trainers and sandals worn by those who danced that night are lined up alongside open tents with discarded luggage cases nearby. The Israeli military released a video showing its operations in Khan Younis city. The IDF said that the troops raided a Hamas battalion outpost and started targeted raids in the heart of the city. According to the UN, Israel has asked 25% of Khan Younis city to evacuate. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that the country's military is encircling the house of top Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, who is hiding in Khan Younis. On the other hand, Hamas has released footage to show attacks on Israeli forces in Gaza. The footage shows fighters using rocket-propelled grenades on armored vehicles. In a dramatic move, UN Chief Antonio Guterres has invoked a rare constitutional provision to initiate action on the Israel-Hamas war. Guterres wrote to the President of the UN Security Council invoking Article 99 contained in Chapter 15 of the UN Charter. Article 99 states that the UN Chief can urge the Security Council to act on any matter that he feels may threaten international peace and security. The UN said that this is the first time Guterres has invoked Chapter 99 since taking office in 2017. Guterres says that the civilians throughout the Strip face grave danger. He stressed that over 15,000 people have been reportedly killed. Over 40% of them are children. The Palestinian Red Cross Society released a video showing 8 trucks entering Gaza through the Rafah border there. The aid agency said that 80 trucks with food, water and medical supplies reached the city. However, a UN report says that the distribution of the aid has been hampered by a shortage of trucks. Even the Red Cross staff could not reach the Rafah border due to the surge in attacks since the collapse of the truce last week. The director of the US FBI, Christopher Wray, will visit India next week. The planned visit comes amid a US federal investigation into an alleged plot to kill Khalistani terrorist Gurpanthan Singh Pannu on American soil. The trip will mark Wray's first visit to India since taking charge in 2017 and the first visit by an FBI director in 12 years. US envoy Eric Garcetti disclosed the FBI chief's upcoming trip at the Global Technology Summit organized by think tank Carnegie India and Ministry of External Affairs. And as for the reports, Indian probe agency NIA will discuss cases and evidence against Gurpanthan Singh Pannu. Well, Pannu is one of the founders of a US-based separatist group Seeks for Justice. The US Senate has blocked a legislation to provide billions of dollars in new security assistance for Ukraine. This comes as Republicans pressed their demands for tougher measures to control immigration at the US border with Mexico. Republicans said that it was essential to make their case for tighter immigration policies and control of the southern border. The vote was 49 in favor to 51 against. This left the $110.5 billion measure short of the 60 votes which are needed in the 100-member Senate. The bill was to provide about $50 billion in new security assistance for Ukraine, along with money for humanitarian aid. It would have also provided $14 billion for Israel in its battle against the Hamas militants in Gaza. In the US, 3 people were killed in a shooting on the main campus of the University of Nevada in Las Vegas. According to the police, the suspect was among the dead. The authorities have not yet identified the victims. It also remains unclear whether the suspect was shot dead by police or died by suicide. The officers are still searching buildings on the sprawling grounds to ensure that there are no additional victims or subjects. According to the police, shots were reported around Beam Hall, a campus building that houses the business school and other facilities. The first reports came in the afternoon, and within about an hour, police had located the suspect. Russian President Vladimir Putin left Saudi Arabia after meetings with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that featured issues including the oil trade and Gaza and Ukraine conflicts. It is only the third time that Putin made a visit outside the former Soviet Union since Russia invaded Ukraine. During the trip, Putin was seen greeting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman before the two briefly sat down for the televised talks. Now, Prince Mohammed said that bilateral ties had helped remove many tensions in West Asia and contributing to enhancing security. The Russian leader was earlier welcomed with a full cavalry escort and motorcade in the UAE, where he met President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has announced new sanctions against 15 individuals and 2 Mexican companies which are linked to the Beltran-Levia drug cartel. Well, this comes as she seeks to improve cooperation with Mexico in stemming the flow of the deadly opioid fentanyl to the US. Well, Yellen unveiled the sanctions on her first trip to Mexico since taking office in 2021. The sanctions are aimed at disrupting the organization that the Treasury describes as one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world. During a trip, Yellen toured a Mexican government crime lab that is pioneering the training of dogs to detect fentanyl chemicals. UK's immigration minister has resigned from his position over what he called strong disagreements with the government's Rwanda policy of deporting illegal migrants. Jenrick was seen as a Sunak ally till recently. He said that small boat crossings across the English Channel are doing untold damage to the country, and that the emergency legislation proposed it to the government did not go far enough to end the merry-go-round of challenges. Jenrick also urged the government to put national interests above highly contested interpretations of international law. The resignation marks a big blow for Prime Minister Sunak at a time when he is preparing his election pitch for the upcoming elections in 2024. Indian origin Samir Shah will be the next chairman of the UK's state broadcaster. His appointment comes after his predecessor Richard Sharp quit in April over a loan given to the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Shah's appointment, that will almost certainly be ratified by a Parliament committee, comes when the BBC is facing pressure on increased funding. The media giant is currently looking to save $627 million and recently announced cutbacks to its flagship Newsnight show. 71-year-old Shah has worked in television for over 40 years, holding a number of roles at the BBC, including as head of current affairs. Venezuelan government issued arrest warrants against 3 people involved in the campaign of opposition presidential nominee Maria Corina Machado, and the charges include treason, conspiracy and money laundering. All 3 were alleged to have used financing from money laundering by international organizations and foreign companies like ExxonMobil. A lawyer for Machado disputed the charges and said that the 3 people have always acted correctly. India will provide immediate relief assistance of over $1 million to Papua New Guinea in the wake of a volcanic eruption. The Ministry of External Affairs said that India extended deep sympathy to the government of Papua New Guinea and also their people for the crisis triggered by the volcanic eruption. Mount Ulvun, the South Pacific nation's most active volcano in Papua New Guinea, erupted on 20th November. Spewing ash as high as 15 kilometers. It led to the evacuation of more than 26,000 people and created a humanitarian crisis in the region. New Delhi has firmly stood by Papua New Guinea during times of crisis and devastation caused by natural disasters, including the earthquake in 2018 and volcanic eruption in 2019. At least 3 people were killed after a fire broke out in a multi-story building in the Pakistani city of Karachi. Recorded footage showed firefighters working to contain the blaze. The fire, originating on the ground floor, was eventually brought under control after prolonged effort. However, during the subsequent recovery operation, 3 casualties were discovered. The officials say the cause of the fire remains undetermined. The blaze comes on the heels of another recent fire tragedy in Karachi, where 11 lives were lost in a shopping mall blaze last month. Colombian authorities destroyed an illegal mining site and mining equipment in the country's Amazon. This is a part of a joint effort with Brazil to crack down on gold mines in the area. Colombia and Brazil have illegal gold mining dredges in the Amazon rainforest. And these mines were producing $1.5 million of precious metal per month and polluting the rivers with mercury. The Colombian authorities said that illegal mining produced as much as 23 kilograms a month. Brazil and Colombia are 2 of the world's most biodiverse nations, with swathes of landmass covered by the Amazon forest. Toxic smog is choking Pakistan's Lahore city. Health officials said that there was a 50% increase in pediatric patients due to respiratory issues aggravated by poor air quality. Ever since cooler temperatures took hold in November, air quality levels have worsened. The UN Children's Agency says that globally outdoor air pollution contributed to 154,000 deaths of children aged below 5 in 2019. In Pakistan, it is one of the top 5 causes of deaths among the entire population. 4 partial lockdowns have taken place since the start of November, along with a rise in campaigns to promote wearing of masks. Flash floods caused by heavy rain inundated roads in Washington's Arlington. Video from North County Regional Fire Authority showed waterlogged roads. The National Weather Service has said the weather system was moving south, providing relief for Washington. The emergency management officials in Washington reported some river flooding could persist into Thursday as well. NASA officials and ISS crew members celebrated the 25th anniversary of International Space Station with a live talk between astronauts in space. The ISS was launched on November 25, 1998. The station has since grown to the size of an American football field made up of 6 sleeping quarters. The space station has been continuously occupied for more than 23 years, testing technologies, performing science, and developing the skills needed to explore farther from Earth. According to NASA, the station has been visited by 273 people from 21 countries and has conducted more than 3,300 investigations. Santa Claus swapped his sleigh and reindeer for a helicopter on Wednesday to visit child patients at a refugee camp. Santa delivered gifts and spread Christmas cheer to around 35 young patients during his visit to the Guatemala city's Giselle refuge. Giselle hosts children from rural areas suffering from severe conditions so that they can stay accompanied by their mothers near to the hospital during their treatment. And more pressure on Tesla, this time from Pension Denmark, one of Denmark's largest pension funds. The fund said it had decided to sell its holdings in Tesla over the US auto company's refusal to enter into agreements with labor unions. The decision is a part of a growing Nordic movement to force Tesla to sign collective bargaining agreements with Swedish mechanics, who have been on strike since October. The labor unions in Norway and Denmark this week said that they would start blocking transit shipments of Tesla cars meant for the market. Citigroup said that the bank's largest reorganization in decades will cost about $1 billion for charges related to restructuring and severance. The overall is expected to be fully completed by the end of the first quarter next year, and the changes include slimming down management and potentially laying off thousands of employees. Simplifying the bank's structure will enable it to reduce annual expenses to between $51 billion and $53 billion, helping Citi approach its profit targets. The AI space is heating up again. Chipmaker AMD estimated that there was a $45 billion market for its data center artificial intelligence. The processors this year as it launched a new generation of AI chips on Wednesday. The total addressable market forecast is up from AMD's $30 billion estimate in June. Advanced Micro Devices announced 2 new AI data center chips from its MI300 lineup. One focused on generative AI applications and the second chip geared towards supercomputers, the version of the processor for generative AI. The MI300X includes advanced high bandwidth memory that improves performance.